Well, Facebookers, letting you know this is a pursuit, slow speed pursuit. Very attractive truck. You can see it right there. Apparently, this is wanted somehow in connection with a stolen vehicle being dumped. Now, apparently, the way it's been explained is that there was a stolen vehicle being dropped off somewhere, and the people that dropped that vehicle off got inside this vehicle, and they were tried to stop them. They being Huntington Park PD. Now, Huntington Park PD, the Sheriff's Department, and the California Highway Patrol, all involved in this chase. We are, if you can't really tell, because of all the buildings, we are in downtown Los Angeles. Northbound Spring, I don't have the cross right now. Looks westbound on 5th. Westbound on 5th from Maine. So he's going to basically be popping out here in a second or two. How our brethren on the East Coast do this? You know what? I'm dumbfounded. All I gotta say is the folk on the East Coast that shoot in the downtown areas, and the only reason I say that, I'm talking about New York. I'm sure Chicago's just as crazy. It is. Hats off to you guys. Right now, this chase very slow moving. California Highway Patrol, the ones in the lead right now, and of course, this started in the Huntington Park area. Sheriff's Department. They have a helicopter overhead. Looks like first. Southbound Broadway. This is the first time we've seen something working for us, actually going underneath us. Brennan at the tiller today. Remember? I'm sorry, Marcos at the tiller today. That's the third time I did that, and that's the reason why I wanted to say it. It's Marcos today. It's not Brennan. So, anyways, we are doing pirouettes and all kinds of fancy stuff up here with our helicopter moves over downtown Los Angeles. A slow moving chase out here. There is no South 6th Street, guys, so it's either east or west. So my guess is we're going eastbound on 6th. Eastbound. There, they just corrected it. And now we're going to be going southbound, probably on Maine. Spring, southbound Maine. Southbound Maine right now. It's a very slow-moving chase. These are folk that were involved in the dumping of a stolen vehicle. Oh, Pat's back. I love the Pat Harvey. You guys have no idea. And right there at 7th. So if you guys are local, CBS Channel 2, that'd be the station to turn to and listen. Southbound Spring, and this is the fastest I've seen this pickup truck move this evening. Everybody seems to be wanting to get a piece of this. And continuing on southbound Spring. Hopefully we'll work our way out of the downtown area, and we'll have less buildings to contend with. Huntington Park out of the pursuit. LAPD might be joining the pursuit. Just made a eastbound turn. LAPD is taking over. Everybody's getting a piece of this. 9th Street. Looks like we might be turning south. Give me a second here. Again, on a smaller street. Nope. Continuing on. Oh, he's going to be going north again. This guy and his buildings. What are we on? LAPD, guys. LAPD. Is that Sheriff's or is that LAPD? That's LAPD. Come on, guys. Westbound on Olympic. I love the Pat Harvey. Me too. Just letting you know, Marcos, you're doing a fabulous job. Pat, we were looking at an empty intersection. There's the vehicle that they're chasing. Everybody seems to be getting their hands in this pursuit this evening. Very slow speed, like you said. Started out in Huntington Park Sheriff's Department. Well, the helicopter was overhead for a little bit. Got on the freeways for a was involved, and then the California Highway Patrol took it over. Right now we're in the downtown Los Angeles area, and now LAPD is actually in pursuit. We're going to get the street right here in just a second. I know he just made a northbound turn. The truck, that's what they're chasing right there, very slow, stopping at a lot of these red lights, moving kind of slowly for the most part. Now these suspects that are in this vehicle apparently are wanted in connection with a stolen vehicle. That pickup truck itself may not be stolen, but earlier this evening in the Huntington Park area, that pickup truck was involved in a stolen vehicle being dropped off. Now, Huntington Park PD somehow saw this activity happening. The people that dropped off that vehicle actually got into this pickup truck, and that's when the pursuit started. Northbound on Broadway, I believe from 9th, extremely slow moving. California Highway Patrol giving it up to LAPD right now. Helicopter overhead, units on the ground, been moving very slowly. No pit maneuvers that we've seen so far.
Okay, and as you mentioned, there are 2 suspects in that trunk. From what we understand, picking up on what you said, Stu, about why they were in pursuit of these guys in the first place, they were apparently wanted in connection for dumping a pickup truck that was stripped.
Well, I'm not sure about the exact, we don't know the exact details on it, but somehow the folks in this pickup truck were actually involved in a dropping off or around some other stolen vehicle in the Huntington Park area. Huntington Park PD got involved, they showed up, and those suspects got into this pickup truck, and then the chase was on. Like we said, it started in the Huntington Park area, made its way onto the freeways. It was on the 101 earlier on at one point, and then got off the freeway. U-turns were made on the streets, but it's been basically in the downtown area pretty much as long as we've been over it. Right, the speeds, not so crazy. But definitely not stopping for the officers. He's actually stopped for some of the red lights out here as well. Right now, though, the chase is moving southbound. I believe we're going to be on Grand. We're on Grand, and you can see the turn right there, so we're going to be right around the Olympic area. It seems like he's been making these big blocks out here. That's what we're doing. Marcos at the tiller today, flying Sky 2. It's really difficult with these with the buildings. We lose them behind the buildings. Even the PD ships that are down there lose sight of him every now and then as well, actually asking the ground units to call out some of the streets.
Okay, well, thankfully, it's not that busy in terms of traffic in downtown Los Angeles right now. Wondering, I don't know if we can tell what's in the back of that pickup truck, but certainly some
looks
kind
like
of...
a welder.
Looks like a welder in the back? That's very interesting.
Yeah, that's what I would guess. If somebody said, Stu, take a wild guess, I would say that is possibly a large welder in the back of that pickup truck. And that truck, definitely a work truck. You can see the condition it's in. So, but again, we're not sure exactly how this is all related to the stolen vehicle itself, but we do know that the suspects that are wanted in connection to that, an earlier stolen vehicle inside this truck right now. This is probably the fastest we've seen this vehicle moving this evening right now. Probably just a little faster than the speeds on the streets, but he hasn't run any lights so far. That was a green light he just made right there. We're going to get you, I believe they're saying that this is Olympic. I'm not 100% on that. Can tell you we're going westbound though right now. And LAPD in pursuit right behind it. They just took it over from California Highway Patrol.
And as you mentioned, Stu, it seems like he seems, or I call it, I say he, we assume that it's a he, or at least 2 people in that truck, but they seem to be making the same turns. right, going over familiar territory. And again, it's difficult to see because they just made another right turn and those tall buildings are in the way. But just kind of makes you wonder what they're looking for. Are they looking for a particular spot to stop?
You know, we always kind of want to know. Everybody wants to know what's going on inside the vehicle that they're chasing. In this case right now, we're not exactly on the same streets, and it almost seems like it's opportunity. He'll come up to a red light, and if he can make a left turn or a right turn, because some of these are one-way streets, he will do that. And that's what we've been seeing out here. There doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason he isn't making the same blocks. He's just staying in that downtown area. And I would almost guess that he's probably not privy to the knowledge that the helicopter may be having difficulty seeing him, because he is moving very slow. I'm sure if he looks in his rearview mirror, he's going to see the law enforcement right there behind him. I guess that that's going to be Wilshire, and where Wilshire dead ends into the Wilshire building. So now we're going to be going southbound again. So he's basically making these blocks out here. The LAPD, they are getting a little tired of playing the follow the leader, as it would be, as it's slow moving, hasn't been too dangerous. They are starting to talk about doing something, perhaps, to start to bring this thing to an end. As you said, though, luckily the streets out here in the downtown area this time of night seem to be kind of empty. That's the first. Well, it's a tough one. You could have argued that was a yellow, but that was the closest we've seen him to running a red light.
Well, you know, if we have one of those, if that was a red light camera, then that would certainly tell the tale on that one, wouldn't it? But then again, sometimes you want to question that. What about right here? Did he run a light there, Stu?
That was a solid red. That was the first solid red that we've seen him run since this thing has started. And that was a California Highway Patrol in that intersection. So he is starting to move out a little bit faster. We're southbound on Grand, I can tell you that for sure right now. And it looks like we're just going to continue on another red light. So he is changing up his pattern. Maybe he is getting a little bit more desperate. Maybe he's thinking he's going to try to get back to Huntington Park. The only reason I say that is that's where this started. But he has basically been in the downtown area as long as we in Sky 2 have been over it. That's going to be the first turn we've seen him make again, and now it's going to be eastbound. And I didn't catch the street, but we're definitely on an eastbound street from Grand right now.
Okay, and you mentioned driving slow speeds. Was pretty much obeying the traffic signals. However, he is not racking up disgruntled law enforcement having to follow this person, but at the same time racking up charges and running red lights there, now evading police. And the Huntington Park area, as you mentioned, Stu, where this all started, is just south and southeast of downtown Los Angeles. And I guess I thought about what could this person possibly be looking for? Is it a specific area, specific spot? Because he seems to be staying in the downtown Los Angeles area or nearby. Don't know, haven't seen him, at least since we've been on the air with you, Stu, making an exit or trying to get on a freeway.
Well, that's right. It basically was on the streets, was on the freeways, and made his way into this downtown area. And it's been in basically here with the large buildings in the actual downtown Los Angeles. So he has been in between these buildings for most of the time that we've been overhead. Really making Marcos work this evening, that is for sure. We're doing pirouettes and moving around. It is difficult to keep that shot because of the buildings. They'll eclipse the vehicle. And even the helicopter, the law enforcement helicopter down low, was having that same issue. Now, they do have the ground units down there. That's going to be LAPD. That's going to be Central Division. They took it over from the California Highway Patrol. They took it over from Huntington Park PD earlier on. The Sheriff's Department, they had a helicopter overhead. I haven't really heard them talking, so I'm guessing that the LAPD helicopter has taken over as well. The truck now is going to be northbound. I believe we're back on Grand. You can see him actually running another stop sign right there. I can tell you, I can read the sign. It's 6th Street. And another red light, and this is just continuing on. Speeds not that fast. Streets pretty empty this evening. We did see this vehicle cut off one car making a very sharp right turn earlier. A little bit of traffic, though, right there, and you can see him, well, I was just going to say, not doing anything too dangerous, and there he goes, making a very dangerous turn, and now going, at least he's going the correct way on a one-way street. Now we're going to be heading eastbound again from Grand.
And with those slow speeds, or let's just say hasn't been driving at a high rate of speed, that makes it a little easier for law enforcement to kind of make a decision about what they want to do in terms of maybe laying down a spike strip, getting ahead of this vehicle. I'm sure the high buildings don't help from your vantage point, but maybe where they are, they might be able to set up something in anticipation of this vehicle coming in that particular direction. Can you tell by now, Stu, if this person has made another circular route?
They are basically, they are big, huge blocks. It depends, though. I mean, was he making figure eights? Is he making rectangles, squares? All that that I can't really tell you for sure. Right now, though, he's staying eastbound on whatever road he's on, whatever numbered street he's on right there. And you are right. They are talking about possibly doing something if he starts with the same blocks. Even though he's in the downtown area, he's been kind of random on the streets he's picking. So it isn't going to be that easy for them just to drop out the spike strips. He isn't making that same block over and over again. He is picking random streets out here. And again, I'm not giving away any of the tricks. We're not sure exactly if the LAPD are going to be playing the spike strip game. That there's a possibility they may even try to do a pit maneuver. His speeds have been a little bit slower, even though when the officers attempt to get closer, he does seem to speed up.
Okay, we understand, Stu, we have more information now that there is one male suspect driver, no other occupants in that vehicle. So as far as we know, then he's making... Go ahead.
No, that's new information. I was just going to say that's new information, Pat. We heard earlier on that there were 2 persons inside that vehicle. Now we're hearing that there's 1. I did hear them, that might have been part of the conversation earlier on. They were asking if somebody had gotten dropped off, and they were trying to get some information on that. So maybe that's what the discussion was. Maybe they thought there were 2 people in there, and then now they're hearing just 1. So that's good. That makes it easier for the LAPD when this thing does come to an end. I can tell you eastbound and making a southbound turn, and we'll get the cross street there in just a second. I don't know what LAPD is doing right there. Oh, he's going down a one-way street, and officers are not going to follow him down that one-way street. That's what's going on right there.
I see. And now now he has emerged from the other side of the building, still going down that particular one-way street.
Yes.
Well, no, it's two-way now.
Yes, that's southbound Main, as I understand it, from 7th. I'm going to try to keep an eye on him here, see which way he goes. I kind of lost him behind the building. There he goes. He's going to be going westbound, Marcos. And he's still between the buildings. He's going to come out right here in a second. I think that's going to be Broadway. So he's crossing Broadway, and there they go. LAPD is back behind him again.
Well, they've got to be, even from the airship, having some idea, right, Stu, of where he is. Well, okay. Is he coming to a stop here behind this building? Conveniently?
This is the first time we've seen him slow down. There might, that's all right, Pat. I think there might have been traffic there. There might have been some sort of traffic behind the building. That it did appear that it would have been our luck that's where it would have come to an end. Now making another southbound turn against traffic. So this guy might actually be learning what's going on when he sees when this when the suspect vehicle goes down on a one-way street. In this case, this is going to be Olive. Officers from LAPD will not follow him. They just won't do it. It's too dangerous.
And that airship is overhead, so they got eyes on him. They have eyes on him.
They do. And in this time, the buildings are a little bit too large. It does seem like he is southbound on Broadway again. No, he said eastbound still. We'll see if we can find him. Well, I don't know how the guys on the East Coast do it in New York for flying death over downtown if this is going on out there with all the buildings. We're going to keep an eye on it. I'm going to start listening and seeing if... Oh, I see him right there. There he is.
Yep,
so,
and still driving at that
Street, slow rate of... northbound.
I'm sorry, Stu. He's still driving at a pretty normal rate of speed, or slow rate of speed, so...
Definitely very, very slow moving. Makes you wonder, maybe he's trying to conserve fuel. Maybe that's the best that truck can do. But right now, back northbound again, no one-way streets. And we're going to see if we can get Sky 2 more directly over it again. But It's just so difficult with the buildings. You can see what we're doing and how we're shooting this. The buildings always are eclipsing it. We're northbound on, whoa, the stringer just got hit by a car right there. And so it just shows what's going on. You get so sucked into that story sometimes you just don't see what's going on. He doesn't seem to be too badly hurt, basically just bumped into that car. But so there are cameras down there on the ground as well. This truck now still continuing on. Looks like he's going to be making a northbound turn. I'd have to guess Broadway from 7th, northbound Broadway from 7th, and this just keeps going in the downtown area this evening.
Okay, let's get our viewers up to speed again. How about that terminology, Stu? Up to speed on what's happening here tonight. This is something that started in the Huntington Park area. Huntington Park PD actually called and asked CHP to assist them. This vehicle that we don't know if it's stolen or not, there is a suspicion that it is, or at least it was involved in some kind of suspicious activity, made its way to the downtown area where LAPD has picked up the chase, and this is where we are. This driver has stayed in the downtown Los Angeles area since we've been on the air at 11 p.m. with Stu, and we've tried to determine if he's making some similar turns or following a particular route. Don't know if we could say that for sure at this point, but again, they are in the downtown Los Angeles area, and Stu can say for sure, of course, that we haven't seen any effort on his part to get on a freeway or really get out of the area.
That's right, and the entire time just now he's been been driving against the one-way traffic. You can see him actually backing up right there. Don't know what that was about, and maybe there was just he couldn't make that turn. It does seem like he's correcting his turn right there and now actually going with traffic. But that's the thing right now. It's like you just mentioned. There isn't, even though he's doing that and the officers seem to back off because of the problem with safety. The issue with safety is not a problem, it's an issue. Is that eventually he gets out onto another street, the helicopter's overhead, they're going to call it out. Even if he did pull over somewhere and get out and run, the area where he is going to be surrounded very quickly by law enforcement. It seems to be a very futile effort. It seems like this is one of the ones where this person just trying to bide his time, doesn't want to go to jail right now. And these are his last couple of minutes of freedom. Making another turn right there will get you this. It's a numbered street. At least he's going the right direction. LAPD on the ground in the air and calling it out. Very slow speeds. Hasn't been too dangerous, but whenever this person and whenever somebody's fleeing from officers, you got to think this guy's going to be concerned about what's behind him, where he's going to go, how he's going to get away, what his next move is, and things could get really hairy quickly. Does appear that we are again going the wrong way on one of the streets out here. Might be back on Olive. Like you said, this started earlier this evening in the Huntington Park area. This vehicle involved in a stolen vehicle being dropped off. Huntington PD, the original law enforcement that was behind it. The chase started in the Huntington Park area, made its way onto some freeways up here in the Los Angeles area, and then for a little while, California Highway Patrol took it over. The sheriff's helicopter was overhead, but once it kind of established itself in the downtown Los Angeles area, LAPD was the ones that said, you know, our area, we got this, thank you. And they took it over. The helicopter, their helicopter overhead, making the calls. Officers from LAPD Central Division down there. There they are, right there. Every time you can, they're not clueless. They know that he made a right turn. Trust me. But that's a one-way street, and they're going to stay away from that one-way street until he's in a safer spot, and they'll get that pursuit going again. The helicopter, though, sees him every time, calling out all the streets. You can see a spike strip right there. I'm not giving anything away. That is one of the LAPD officers down there. So westbound, I believe just west of Olive, and again, one-way street. There's the LAPD helicopter, a little bit lower down, but same deal.
Well, you know,
they've got it.
Oh, keep talking, Stu.
Oh, sorry, Pat. No, sorry, Pat. They're trying to figure out. The LAPD lost him in the buildings as well. I'm going to go a little bit wider, see if he pops out on one of the directions out here.
Okay.
westbound 6 from Hope. Westbound 6 from Hope, so he's coming towards us. Or westbound Olympic from Hope. So he's got to be a little bit right over here.
You know, I think
we'll find him here in just a second.
I think it's interesting, Stu, when we talked about, there he is, you got him, Marcos, he's on it. It's interesting to see how LAPD, I mean, when they know this guy is turning down a one-way street, they just continue on what they're doing, going the right way. I'm just wondering if that also is it's a tactic maybe to confuse this guy as well, and saying, well, if they're not behind me right now, where are they going? Knowing, but they're going to pick them up eventually because of their airship overhead. I do want to go back to what you talked about maybe a few minutes ago about this vehicle hitting a stringer, hitting a photographer on the ground.
But not this car, not the suspect's vehicle. There was a stringer at one of the it was a stringer at one of the intersections, and he had this camera and he was looking through the viewfinder trying to get a shot of this truck driving by, and then there was a black car in that intersection, and it either, you know, if I have to call it exactly the way I see it, the stringer actually walked into the car. Okay. So I don't think he was hit by the vehicle. He basically walked into that car at that intersection. He didn't fall down. There doesn't seem to be any injuries. That pickup truck slowing down right now. Don't know if he's doing some decision-making process here, or it is a red light or traffic, but he's behind that bank building right there. We're going to see what we can see. There he goes. Starting to just popping his way out, and is going to be heading eastbound again. Wrong way. You can see the cars bailing out of the way. You can see the LAPD going the other direction. We'll stay a little bit tighter. Even in the downtown area, when there isn't that much traffic, of course, if somebody's not paying attention on that one-way street, you know, maybe using their cell phone or something like that, it could be could be hairy. Right there, right between two cars, very convenient for him, and it continues the wrong way out here as we're working our way eastbound back into the downtown area, passing Figueroa. But this pickup truck moving slowly, kind of squeaking his way through there. Might be a little bit more traffic at this one.
Yeah, I was going to say, and, just caught up to some traffic.
Yeah, traffic going the wrong way. So he's continuing on right there, passing Flower as I understand it. Now making another turn, and it does appear that at least this is a two-lane road. Northbound, and no, I'm sorry, they were just giving directions to the guys on the ground. But anyway, northbound right now, and they're getting more of the black and whites, meaning there you go, one of those units right there, trying to get them in position so they can continue on following this guy on the ground.
Well, you know, I noticed there were a couple of pedestrians there, Stu, people walking, and as we mentioned, the traffic may not be as heavy, but certainly depending on where you are in downtown Los Angeles, you could encounter quite a few people on foot, even people in some of those you know, streets that are not as well lit as the main thoroughfares, and that could be a problem. A lot of transients.
Definitely.
In downtown Los Angeles, let's face it, that's the truth.
Definitely, we do see a lot of pedestrians out here this evening in the crosswalks, keeping an eye on that truck. Sorry, every time I go wide, so some of the times I'm just staying a little bit wider to see where he pops out. He does really seem to be, I think he's figuring out that if I go against traffic, they won't follow me. But the issue is on that is eventually they will follow you. That was Grand again. He was going the wrong way on the one-way. So now we're getting very close to Pershing Square again. It's going to be near the Jewelry District. And I should be popping out right here. There he is. There he comes, right there. And it looks like he's playing that game again, going the wrong way against traffic right there, right by the Biltmore, I believe. And, at least that's a two-lane, so you can see officers from no, they were going the right direction. He's going the wrong way. That's what we just saw right there.
And again, not really making it, not really a rhyme or reason in terms of where this person is driving. He's in downtown Los Angeles and out for, you know, almost looks like a little sightseeing because it's not joyriding. He's not going as quickly as he could. Interesting behind this building, maybe, Stu. Saw that cruiser pull up there in the opposite direction.
That's right. I just heard something about, I saw him make that turn, but hang on, I got to find him again. Sorry about that, Pat. We got to find him. Just give me 1 second.
You got it. I noticed right as he was making a turn behind the building, and a CHP officer or LAPD was coming in the opposite direction and seemed to pick up a little speed there, as if to, I don't know, maybe they wanted to, I don't want to say box this guy in, because I know that's not the safest thing to do, especially if you're not exactly sure of the circumstances. But maybe they have a little bit more information about who this person is in this vehicle.
Well, they don't know exactly who he is, that's for sure. And right now, I'm still a little bit lost on where he went. I can assure you we will find him here shortly. We heard the words 5th and Grand just a few moments ago. And the officers from LAPD, you can see them making their turns down there. They know their little shortcuts. One of the units making a turn right there. So sooner or later, he got out and ran, is what we're hearing?
Ah. Okay, we have not confirmed that information, Stu, but considering how slow this person was going and turning on different streets, making circular turns, almost following a circuitous route, probably looking for a place where he could get out and try to run. But as Stu always mentions in these pursuits, the airship is overhead and they will have eyes on this vehicle or this person, but it does make it a little bit more difficult. As tall as these buildings are, and a lot of parking garages or underpasses, and maybe a little bit more difficult in trying to find them, even if they do a foot bail. Now we're looking at...
Definitely, that's what we're hearing that right now too, that it is some sort of foot bail. We're trying to figure out exactly where he went. The helicopter is saying the same thing, as you can hear the frustration in his voice. You know, that's his, well, it's our job to follow it as well. But the officers are down there right now, and apparently they're trying to set up a and now I'm hearing that he might still be in the truck. So, and now I'm hearing he's not in the truck. So we're going to figure out where he is here in just a moment and get this thing back on track.
Okay, well, that police vehicle that we looked at was going at a pretty high rate of speed there, Stu. Wondering what street that was. Well, then there's the truck.
8th and Hope. There it is. There's the truck, 8th and Hope, and that's what they were saying, that he was out of the vehicle and he was running. That's going to be the corner of 8th and Hope, so he did abandon that vehicle right there. Not sure what building he ran into right now. The information going back and forth from LAPD and our assignment desk, and trying to figure out exactly where he might have ran to. There's a lot of open buildings out here, all these high rises. Most of these have lobbies, and there's access to a lot of these buildings. So this is the area where we saw earlier on that Joe's parking. I saw that. So maybe he ran into that parking garage. But right now, the suspect out, running, and they are going to start to set up a perimeter.
Okay, so that could take some time before they actually get this guy into custody. Hopefully, maybe some of those people that are on foot will be able to tell law enforcement where this guy could possibly be, or where they saw him run or take off to.
Pat, we actually are hearing right now. It is in the Joe's Joe's Auto parking structure, and they do have this guy in custody right now. We're going to see if we can get a shot of him, but he's definitely in custody. So this is definitely coming to an end in the downtown area here in Los Angeles.
Okay, well, Stu, we're glad to hear that. It did end really relatively peacefully and safely, it appears. They have him in custody, and no injuries to anyone. No damages, no accidents that we could report, of course. And as you mentioned, that stringer seems to be doing okay, because you didn't see him fall to the ground. So we could probably say
all's well that ends well. One in custody. Nobody was hurt, and LAPD got their man. That's for sure. All we know is that he's in custody on the lower level of that parking garage. I don't think they're going to walk him out. There are actual officers and vehicles in that garage as well, so we might not be able to actually see this guy coming out in cuffs. Woo! What a goat rodeo. Where? Here? Oh, Rose Hills area? Guys and gals on Facebook, thank you for putting up with that. That was beyond crazy. Zach Wahlberg, hey, Wahlberg, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. Yeah, there is another chase. It's on the 605. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead. A little cranky, but I'm good. Yeah, they're seeing if they can get a shot of him. He's actually in the garage, in the parking garage. Oh, that one's over? Okay, that one's over. Sarah, the motorcycle chase is over. The 605 chase is over. Over. Jeff, that chase is over. But thank you so much for hollering that out. I do appreciate it. Sherry, the pursuit on the 605 is over. Yep, somebody's getting a picture of the guy going into custody, or at least nearby. I don't think we're going to be able to get it. Well, not with that attitude, Stu. Oh, I don't miss those days. Those guys with the cameras wait for chases and go to the scene and record them. Well, it's not just chases, it's all breaking news. Those are stringers. Some of them are stringers. Some of them are actually station camera people. Yeah, Rachel, I don't think we're going to see the perp walk. There might be a chance, maybe, but my guess is there's another police car actually in there. Brian, I don't know what that means, but I'll take it as a positive. Look at all those stringers. That's right. What is that supposed to mean, Kathy? Thank you, Jerry. Thank you, Nick. This week on the podcast, it's a little early. I forgot the guy's last name, but it's going to be an NHR driver, National Hot Rod Association top fueler guy, I'm pretty sure. Rob, probably not as... Rob, by the way, I love your cooking show, Rob. It was awesome, and yeah, probably not as pissed as I am. And Pat's having a good time. Yes, sir. Go ahead, sir. All right, we're going to start heading home. How about a skyline shot? Well, you know what? with all those snide and snarky comments. Gabial, thank you. With all those snarky comments about other, I'm doing the air quotes, other stations. I don't think any of them are going to be giving you a tour home. That's downtown. I saw you at, well, Leo, why would you freeze up, man? Just say, yo, Stu, what's up? Let me give you guys a shout out about stickers and the sticker situation. I'm out again. I placed another order, but I am out again. So if you haven't got some yet, you know, a lot of them are in the mail. I got to tell you that. I actually got one. I got a return to sender. But a lot of the stickers that all them, pretty much all but like two. There's somebody that's in Vegas. She was asking for two, and I literally had one sticker left. So, anyways, Jenny, what about your 2 cents? I'll do a little pan here. Let's get the camera pointing out front. Where's the Marriott? That's beautiful downtown right there, nighttime. Thank you, Jay. Brett, I think I did get the sticker that you sent me. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead. Please tell me you were rolling, because I don't think we were in the helicopter. Go. Assignment test. Go. Okay, no problem. Good night, everybody. We're gonna drop the feed because it's OT time for everybody else, and we're gonna cut the feed. Good night, everybody.